Good morning. I'm Terry. Welcome to Yoga with Terry, our morning yin practice. But remember, you can do this anytime through the day. I just find that when I get up, I kind of stretch out my hips. I feel better and stretchy for the day. So let's get into something comfy and move on to our mats. Today, all you will need is your blocks. It's going to be a blaster practice, dragon, or lizard, whatever you want to call it. So let's start out. Put your blocks on either side of your mat, and we're just going to move up into a blaster pose. So bring your left foot forward, stretch out your back leg as far as you can get it, point your toe. You don't want your knee over your ankle. You want it straight up and down, right from your ankle to your knee. Better start the timer. So in this pose, we're just going to stay here. I want to give you a really good stretch in your hip flexor. So try not to use any muscles to hold you back. Let the gravity pull you down into that stretch. Your hip flexors, when they're tight, can cause a lot of back pain, pain in sitting, even lying in bed. So you want to get them stretched out. And again, in your pose, you want to think of the 3 principles of yin. That's your body like a wet noodle, so nothing holding you up. No muscle participation in yin. Try not to. You also want to think about your breathing, the 4-8 breathing count, where you breathe in for 4 and out for 8. You want to make the whisper sound in the back of your throat as if you're fogging up a mirror. So you breathe in through your nose, make that little whisper sound in the back of your throat, and breathe out through your mouth. And if you don't like breathing out through your mouth, I don't think it's a big deal. You just want to make that whisper sound because it massages the vagus nerve that triggers your parasympathetic nervous system that tells your body, okay, relax, I'm good. You can stretch into that pose. So when you're in this position, you'll find your hips continually go further and further, and you're going to find that, oh, okay, I'm holding myself up. You don't want to hold yourself up. So you can move your blocks down a bit further. You don't want to hunch over in this. We want to stretch out that extended leg hip flexor. So stay nice and upright. Let's do some breathing together. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep holding it here. 1 more minute. And if you find that, you can't get a good position with the blocks, put your arms on your front leg. You really want this stretch to happen. So your hip comes closer and closer to the ground. You want to stretch out that hip flexor. So let's hold it here and breathe in. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. and exhale. Now let's slowly walk ourselves out of that pose. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So put your right leg in front. Now you'll have a great sensation in that hip flexor when you bring your foot up. Oh, better stop our timer. And the same thing. You want your knee straight up and down from your ankle. Hold it here. Let's stretch out that back leg as far as it'll go. You want your knee resting on the ground. Hold it here. And remember, we're stretching that hip flexor now on the left leg. So stay nice and upright. It also puts a nice gentle curve in your back, in your lumbar spine. It's going to be all blaster pose, different variations of the blaster, dragon, lizard. It's called different things in different yoga. I've always called it lizard. And most poses in yoga are, they say it kind of looks like that, a lizard. Well, to each his own. Now let's do our breathing. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So we're about halfway through. You'll probably find now that your blocks are kind of hindering your progress to fall into that stretch. So turn your blocks the other direction, or put your hands on your knees. You just want to let gravity pull you into that stretch. Keep holding it there. Yin yoga is very difficult for a lot of people because you have to sit here for a long time. You want to calm your mind, calm your breath, and relax into the pose. So let's breathe again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going with that breath. Ujjayi breath, making that whisper sound in the back of your throat. 30 more seconds, gang. We're almost there. You can do it. 15 more seconds. We're almost there. It's a blaster day today. There we go. Okay. Slowly walk yourself out of the pose. And let's put our left foot forward. Now, this pose is a winged dragon. So stretch it out again, and you're going to feel your hips move around, whatever feels good for you. Just get things moving again. So this one, what we're going to do is put your foot, your left foot, to the edge of your mat, toes pointing out at a 45 degree. Then let your leg tip on, there, start the timer, tip onto the baby toe side. So your foot is at an angle. You stay here. I will move so that you can see what it looks like from the front. We've got our blocks. Your foot is at about a 45 degree angle, and then just turn it onto the side. And if you want a little more stretch, rest your elbow here. It just gives a little more tension on that hip. And let's just stay here. And again, think of that stretch of those hip flexors. There's a big muscle that attaches your body to your legs, to your, basically to your legs. The psoas muscle, iliac psoas muscle, it can get very tight and it's very difficult to stretch it out. But this is one of the things that does stretch it out. So let's hold it here. Think of our breathing. Breathing in that good oxygen. Exhaling all that tension and tightness out of your hips. And at any time, if you feel, okay, I can come down to my elbows. Come down to your elbows. You can use one block, 2 blocks, or 1 block this way, whatever feels good for you. But we're going to stay here, hold it here, let your leg fall out, and breathe. Now I'm just going to turn so you can see from the other direction. You stay there. Now I find that my knee, pressure on my knee gets pretty intense. So you may want to put a blanket or a towel, something under your extended leg knee. I've got 2 mats here, my big fat mat and my sticky mat. Let's all breathe together. Inhale, 1. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, if anytime you feel that you're using muscles to hold you in the position, try to let it go. Let all that tension go. A little bit longer, gang. And probably now you're feeling sensation in different places, but you're really stretching out that hip flexor. You're getting external rotation on your left leg, plus flexion. And let's all breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. Good job. Let's slowly walk ourselves out of it. Nice and slow. Your hips are going to rebel. Now just kind of move around, whatever feels good for you. And let's do the other side. So bring your right leg up to the outside of your mat. Put it about 45 degrees. Make sure that your knee doesn't come over that ankle. and then let it fall out so it's resting on the baby toe side. And you can sit here, you can put your elbow on and give it a little more pressure, but it's really not necessary because we're staying in this pose for a fairly long time. So hold it here, concentrate on your breathing, and stay in the pose as long as you possibly can. So the 3 principles: you want your body to be totally relaxed, wet noodle, your 4-8 breathing, and you want to meet or beat your previous time in the pose. So hold it here. This is a stretch that is so good for your hips in every aspect of your life. Because we sit in a chair or on the couch, your hips, your hip flexor in particular, don't get much stretch. And this makes a big difference in your daily life. And I know my hips, after a hard day of skiing and I, drive home, trying to get out of the car, oh my goodness. This stretches out your hips, makes you feel better. And like I said, at any time, if you feel you could lower down onto your elbows or remove your blocks, by all means, it's your practice. So you do what's good for you. You do you. So let's breathe. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Continue with that 4-8 breathing. Concentrate, visualize the good oxygen coming into those hips. Now, a lot of times you'll hear a yoga teacher say, breathe into your hip. And that's what it means. It's just visualizing the good oxygen going into that hip and exhaling all the bad tightness and stiffness out. Keep holding it, gang. I know it gets uncomfortable, but I'm in here with ya. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. A little bit longer, gang. Continue with that breath. Visualize the air coming in and removing all of that stiffness and tightness. I hope you're enjoying the morning yin yogas with me. I enjoy teaching them, so I hope you're enjoying doing them. 10 more seconds, we're almost there. I know you can feel that you've gone further into this stretch. That's good. And let's slowly walk ourselves out of that stretch. Nice and slow, nice and slow. Wiggle your hips around, whatever feels good for you. Okay, now, this is not really a blaster pose. It's more, it's kind of like a dragon split. So bring yourself back into that blaster position. But from here, you can use your blocks however you want, We're going to lean back. Flex that foot. Now what you want to do is stretch over that leg. Better start my timer. You want to stretch over that leg, but you don't want to be curled up like this. You want your back straight. So if you need your blocks, wherever you need to put them, to keep your back at a straight position, you're going to feel a real good stretch all in here. Keep that toe flexed, pointing up to the ceiling, and breathe, and let every exhale feel yourself go further into that stretch. And if you don't want to use your blocks, you can just put your hands down like this. And remember, you don't want to use muscles, so you want to have long bones over long bones. But keep your back straight. Keep your chin up so you're looking at your big toe. And you're slowly kind of sitting back and leaning over that leg. And if you feel your muscles shaking or you see your foot shaking, you're doing it right. You want to stress those muscles when you're doing yin. And at any time, if you feel you can go further into the stretch, by all means, go a little further into the stretch. Keep that foot up. And you can see where, it feels different if your foot is kind of plopped out or pointing in. You can use your block to keep your foot straight up and down. Whatever feels good for you. So let's think of our breathing. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Continue with your breathing, visualizing all that good oxygen coming into your legs, into your hamstring, into your hips, and all the tightness leaving. Let it go. Just let it go. Now I'm using the block just to keep my foot straight up and down. You don't have to put a block there, but just remember, keep your back straight. And you can feel the difference in the stretch if you round or if you straighten. It's more intense when you straighten your back, and that's what we want. Continue with that breathing. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. I hope you can feel the difference when you exhale, how it lets your body come a little bit further into that stretch. Okay, good job, you guys. Walk yourself out of that. Bring your leg behind you. Move it around, whatever feels good for you. And let's do the other side. So bring your right foot up to the front of the mat. So you're in your blaster pose, knee straight over your ankle. Now move your hips back, flex that ankle. So it's flexed right there. Toes are pointing to the ceiling. You're looking at that big toe. Keep your back straight. Don't hunch over. You want your back nice and straight. And if you feel that's not intense enough, you can move your foot a bit forward. Whatever feels good for you. Now I'm going to put my block there to hold my foot up. And I might not need it on this side. And notice the difference on either side, how you felt going into the pose on the last side as this side. Everyone's body's, each side is a wee bit different. We have a dominant side and a weak side. Keep that back straight. And again, at any time, if you don't need your blocks, you can take them away. Stay right here. So let's think of our breathing. Inhaling that oxygen. Exhaling the stiffness, the tightness. And let's all breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Keep going. Don't let your back round. Keep it nice and straight. Try to relax. Let yourself fall into that pose. Let gravity pull you further down. With every exhalation, feel yourself go a little further into that stretch. Let's all breathe together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Keep going with your breathing. Feel yourself get further into that stretch. Five more seconds. And release the pose. Bring your feet back. Wiggle your hips around. Whatever feels good. So I hope that's made you stretchy for the day. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you on the mat next time. Bye for now.